We have just seen brand new all-time highs on the stock market. It is exactly what we have been calling for on this channel over the past few weeks. Brand new all-time highs, and for Bitcoin to also continue up alongside it. Well, Bitcoin has made its way up to $76,000, which actually was a very precise level that I gave you in my last video, where I remained absolutely long, absolutely bullish across the board, and looking for that move to $76,000. Well, now we have hit into that level. We have got a rejection. I want to be talking you through what are we looking at next, right? I had these very strong biases, that conviction, that confidence that higher prices will come. Higher prices did come. So now what are we looking at next? Well, that's what I'll answer for you in this video. I hope that you thoroughly enjoy and, you lock in some profits, because it's been a very profitable few weeks indeed. Some people are calling it the most hated rally of all time on the stocks. And I think if you're a chart champions, it's one of the most loved rallies of all time. So, yeah, it's kind of funny how the news plays their narratives. Anyway, so on Bitcoin, we'll start off here. In my last video, again, I was calling for that continuation to the upside towards that $76,000 range high. I also mentioned two major support levels for the long opportunities, and we pulled back to that first major long opportunity just below $71,000, which we had that lovely magic circle of support, price retraced down to that lovely magic circle of support, and of course got a very nice lovely magic bounce off the back of it. So we can see there, again, just technical analysis working for long trades and working for short trades. As you know, at Chart Champions, we are very good at timing highs for shorts, longs for lows. We trade both sides of the market. I'm not a perma bull, I'm not a perma bear. I just look for high probability trades, and it's as simple as that. So just like we had the long actually from $71,000, I have activated a short trade from $76,000, which was of course our target for, well, that's, you know, the key is the reaction, and the reaction was nothing short of perfect. As you can see, this white line here being the range high, come down even to a 5-minute chart. Look at this, just what I call a perfect swing failure pattern, right? One of the most bread and butter setups that we love at Chart Champions. That is your reaction. That is the alert triggered, move above the high, close back down below. We're talking about less than 0.2% stop loss. Just so nice. Entry trigger of the swing failure pattern, entry of the short, invalidation stop loss above the high. And I will tell you, this trade has of course already hit take profit one at this point. Why? There was a few few levels you could have used for take profit one. Number one could have been the session VWAP, or the most obvious or most, let's say the bigger level was the opposite side of what would have been classed as that lower range at that point. That was the low to bring us up to the high. As you come down and take those lows, this is of course a very nice level to secure take profit. Personally, I would actually like to see higher again. I do believe that we can break through $76,000 for sure. But, it's nice to have that short from literally my entry was 75,900. Take profit one hit, stop loss at entry. If I am wrong that higher prices come, well, at least now I'm in a short trade. But, I absolutely do believe higher prices are going to come again, and I will explain why in this video. But one thing is very, very, very key, right? I was able to maintain the bullish bias after longing $65,000 because I was very confident in the rise on the stock market. Well, now that rise has came. We have hit brand new all-time highs on the S&P 500. We've hit brand new all-time highs. And so that is something that weighs into my analysis. It is something that weighs into my conviction, right? So it's really, really, really important that you understand. I'm just going to flick through a few different posts here to emphasize, right? Really, I mean, if you've been watching our videos, it's very obvious how bullish we have been. But of course, over here on X, I've been making my opinion very clear. While people were super bearish at the lows because of the war, primarily because of the war and the inflation and the oil prices, we were confidently longing the bottom. It is as simple as that. And that is why this is classed as the most hated rally by the news, because a lot of people missed out. They didn't buy the lows because they thought it was going to go lower because of the war, because of oil prices, right? And at the end of the day, like I've shown you, it is run on technical analysis. There's no other way apart from technical analysis that you could have confidently longed the lows like we did. Of course, on Bitcoin, this was back on a YouTube video that we made. Went along Bitcoin, well, $65,000. So very happy if you've done that. But it was simultaneously at this point in time that we were putting on major lows on the stock market right at the end of March. So we had been waiting all year for $170 on Bitcoin. Of course, we were buying it, and I was literally calling it buying before one of the biggest pumps we've ever seen, and people were very much in doubt. Nvidia up less than 2%, biggest pump ever. Give it some time, right? They think lows are coming. You know, this guy got a 7% move up on the overall stocks. No break of structure. I think it's a little bit too early to be calling the low. You're saying one of the biggest pumps that we've ever seen is coming? Absolutely, yes. So, you know, there was a lot of doubt while we were buying the lows, but look at that. That confidence played out because it was the low. We have hit a brand new all-time high. You think I'm wrong for expecting higher? Still long and chill. So, you know, our bias has been playing out very well, and it comes down to technical analysis. So this was a longer post that you can, of course, read, but I was just making it very, very, very clear that this, for me, is just a perfect play on the technicals, right? As we say here, we trade probabilities. That's why I believe a new all-time high is coming. We had support bounces. You know, I will just leave this on the screen for you to read. Sorry, you can probably hear my baby in the background, but he's having a good time playing with his ball. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, I mean, I'll leave this on the screen for you to read, but it just goes to show truly the market is run by technical analysis. Ignore the noise, ignore the articles, ignore the news, focus on the technical analysis, focus on what we do at Chart Champions, and you won't be calling it the most hated rally, you'll be calling it the most loved rally because of the amount of profits that we have truly made on this one. So yeah, that brings us back to Bitcoin I want to focus on here. And again, I've just said I do believe that we can break above $76,000, and I want to be calling this because of the bump and run pattern. In my next video, I will talk about the bump and run pattern. Again, if you want to know about it already, I've talked about it extensively for members of Chart Champions. In my next YouTube video, I'm going to be talking about it extensively here on YouTube. But just so you're aware, I personally am expecting a test of the trend line from the bump and run. So that's coming in at around 77 to $77,000 to $78,000, right? So for example, if we hit today, that's coming in at around $78,000. So this for me is the biggest, most important pattern right now on Bitcoin. It is the bump and run. That is the trend line that I am looking to see tested. So, you know, that's why I would like to see another high. Again, it doesn't have to happen today, but over the next, 7 to 14 days, I have full confidence, to be honest, that we will get the touch of that trend line. 2 weeks maximum here. I do think we're going to hit it a lot quicker. So, but for me, yeah, that trend line, I'm really looking to be tested. So yeah, another high above $76,000 honestly is my preference. So that still gives us then options of buying the dip. Once again, if another dip comes just like it did to $71,000, well, I'm happily going to be looking for entries here. So when we talk about opportunities, I still view two very big opportunities, just as I did in my last video, and they're going to be similar prices here. Opportunity, of course, when we talk about, if we talk about big opportunity, but what I wouldn't class as the highest probability, of course, you can be looking back down towards $68,000. But here locally, we still have this around $71,000. So very similar to last video, you still ultimately have support there. You could say just below the lows there, 70,000, psychological. Then to 73,000, right? At 73,000, you have the daily naked point of control. You have a bit of a support resistance flip. And just below it, depending on if we put in a lower high here, you would have a one-to-one. So high, low, lower high. Yeah, again, that's if this is a confirmed lower high, which it isn't at the moment. You can see that's coming in between $73,000 and $72,500. So, that's what I would call like a more of a lower term time frame trade, right? Red flag for me is it's in the middle of a quick move to the upside. That for me is a red flag, right? In terms of it's not my most favorite scenario, just as like I was very, very, very much against trying to short any of this rise. Why? Because this was a quick move to the downside. Once it get going, you look for new highs. I did not short this high. I did not short a retest. I did not, just because I don't like to short when there's a quick move to the downside. So just why they have to be cautious, because that would be longing in the quick move to the upside. And so if you do get a bit of a stronger pullback, then again, $70,000, I still think is a wonderful level of interest. If you lose that, we can be looking for $68,000. But for now, to summarize here on Bitcoin, I I have to be honest with you. I did short the fake out of the high. I mean, why wouldn't I? It was just such a precise entry that we had with such a precise entry trigger. But that has already hit take profit one. I've took that stop loss to entry. That trade's come and gone. If you missed it, well, you weren't paying enough attention, or you had things going on, which is fine, right? Other than that, I wouldn't be interested in another short here. I am looking for the test of our trend line. So again, I will zoom out. As you can see, that trend line coming in between, $78,000, $77,000. So I'm looking for our bump and run trend line to be tested. In my next video, I will absolutely cover that one in depth for you all. I just want to say a few things. I will actually like to talk about Ethereum and Solana, and potentially gold. Before I get onto that, I just want to do a very quick announcement for you of new features that we've got added here on Bitunix. A few things here just to remind you of, and that is the $20,000 trading competition. On top of that, the $10,000 giveaway. So every single week, we're giving away $10,000 and $20,000 in trading competition. This is open for everyone, whether you're a member, whether you're not. Every single person watching this video, your friends, family, can take advantage of the lucky draw $10,000 giveaway at the very least, right? Just sign up using the link there. As champion members, you will also get on top of that $50 a week in trading bonuses. But the cool thing here that I want to bring your attention to is, why am I promoting Bitunix? Because I truly believe they've got the work ethic to be one of the biggest exchanges. Very, very good. And the features that they're releasing are unique, right? So they've got two new features here that I just want to bring your attention to. First one is, if you struggle with risk, if you struggle with risk management, if you don't know how to position size correctly, what you can do now within Bitunix is automatically say how much you want to risk, and it will automatically work out your position size. So there's no guesswork, there's no miscalculations, messing up formulas. It's all within the chart, it's all within the actual entry. So I think that is a wonderful feature that I want to bring your attention to. It really is a risk first order execution, and that is a first in the industry here. So very nice indeed. And the second bit now, that they also have within the chart itself, partial take profits, okay, and partial stop losses. So this is really nice if you want to place that very, very, very easy and very intuitive levels of getting into take profit percentages, right? So you can see here, you just all slide it on the chart. Okay, I want my take profit 1 to be 20%, take profit 2 to be, another 20%, for example, right? I think these are really good user-focused, end-user-focused traders, positive things that have been added there. So yeah, just wanted to bring your attention to that. And of course, it comes along very nicely with the giveaway, with the competition, and with the bonuses that you get for being a champion member. We've already given away over $2 million in bonuses here. So yeah, we're giving back a lot. That's all we can say. Anyway, if you want to take advantage of that, we will leave the link in the description. So as I said, I would like to talk about Ethereum next. Ethereum for me is in a very positive situation. All right, we are on the brisk of something very big on Bitcoin. If we get a confirmed bump and run pattern, that is a major low in for Bitcoin for the medium term. Okay, again, if you know my Elliott wave count, you know the bigger picture, but at least it's in for a very strong local rally, right? And so if that is the case, then altcoins, I do feel, are primed for large moves to the upside too. I'm looking for Ethereum actually longs on pullbacks, and Solana, I would really like to see this get a strong reclaim of the point of control. At the moment, Solana is unable to get back above the range point of control. It is lagging behind. Well, it's lagging behind Ethereum, and of course, it's lagging behind Bitcoin. Solana needs to get this point of control strength. Then I do believe if Solana can get a rally, Ethereum already leaning for longs on, by the way, and Bitcoin can get its breakout and confirm the bump and run pattern. I don't want to say alt season, but I do want to say there's a lot of opportunity in alts. That's the way I will put it. I'm not about alt season or not alt season. I'm just saying, if there's opportunity, if there's good trades, I will trade the altcoins. I've already started to take longs on altcoins. I have been trading them over the past week because I do feel the opportunity is looming. Again, we're not getting too excited. We're just looking for, again, high probability trade setups. That's what we do. That's what we trade. And that's what I'm looking for next on Bitcoin. Again, I'd like to see the test of the trend line. Opportunity of pullbacks here locally. 73 to 72.5 is technically nice, but the red flag is the quick move to the upside. If we do get the bigger reversal, then I still feel 70,000 psychological. Wonderful opportunity for me, of course, not financial advice, to bring it back up to around $77,000. But if we move up first and test this trend line, then of course the pullback scenario has changed, because that would be a major, a major trend line being hit. So for me, that's super important. But I, of course, would like to see the breakout. So yeah, I hope that's made sense. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you've made some nice profits with the all-time highs here on the most hated rally of all time. Or as we were saying, the most perfect rally of all time. We literally came down to the dollar, absolute dollar of the anchored VWAP support on NVIDIA. We came down to the weekly uptrend anchored VWAPs on the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. I mean, this was a extremely, extremely, extremely technical support bounce. So, of course, I mean, we were there, we were buying, we've made profit. Just to, if you want to learn how to do this, chartchampions.com. It is as simple as that. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you ever so much, and I'll catch you in the bump and run for my next video. Cheers. Thank you, and goodbye.